Let me ask you a ridiculously big and the most important question. What's the meaning of this whole thing, of life?
Well, I got a story for that.
Does this have something to do with a farm?
Well, no. It's from Japan. I used to live in Japan. I live in Osaka, right next to Namba. Beautiful area. It's like, if you're going to live anywhere in Japan, live in Osaka. And you live anywhere in Osaka, live next to the restaurant district. At 4 o'clock in the morning, you can get good ramen. These are the things in life that make you who you are. So there was a shogun, and he was kind of a badass. He was really good at killing people, really good at running his empire. And then he got a bit disgruntled in his late 40s. And he said, I'm just going to give it all to my son, and I'm going to wander around Japan until I find the perfect cherry blossom. That's what I'm going to do. Everybody thought he went crazy. He said, no, that's what I'm going to do. And he took his whole entourage with him. And so his son is now the shogun. And then he's just wandering throughout Japan and having all these incredible, crazy adventures as he's wandering throughout Japan. Fighting bandits and loving beautiful women and so forth. And then 30 years later, he's passing these 2 geisha gals, and one of them turns around and they notice him slumped over next to a cherry tree. And so she goes over to try to rouse him, and he's dead. And in his hands is a wilted cherry blossom. So that's a very Japanese story, right? The point is that it's not the actual blossom finding the perfection that matters. It's the things you do on a day-to-day basis, the places you go, the people you meet, the experiences you have, and the joy you take in the things that you do here in the moment now. You have to get there. If you look at Jiro Dreams of Sushi, there's this guy, 70 years of his life, making the same damn piece of sushi again and again and again. He's the happiest guy around. Albert Camus and his story of Sisyphus. Sisyphus should be miserable. It's the Greek curse. No, he's happy. He has total clarity of purpose. And every day he gets to basically roll that stone just a little bit better than the day before, a different way than the day before. And it's not the destination. It isn't getting the stone up at the top of the hill that matters. It's the fact that the act, you find that joy in that act, that ikigai, that way of life, that purpose of life. That, I think, is the closest thing a human can get to a meaning. You're a blip. You didn't exist. You're dead. And if you compare it to the size of the universe in that time, it's just a little blip. So all you can do with what you have is just find meaning in the things that you do on a daily basis. And you can't predict the macro. We have all this wealth and power in America. What if a world war breaks out? We could be destitute like war-marked Germany. And so, you could be a big guy. You could be now living on the street side. Would you be miserable? The point of life is getting to a point that no matter what comes your way, what misfortune comes your way, you're in a position where you can find a modicum of happiness and love and empathy for others in that moment. Mm-hmm. And then the highest pursuit of life is the ability to share that mindset with other people and give it to them somehow. And that's really hard, because everybody comes to you, they're always Eeyore, doom and gloom and cynical, but this and that, and reputation this and that. You have to somehow transcend all of it and say, that doesn't matter. Look at the cherry blossoms. Aren't they beautiful today? And let's find a better one tomorrow.
See, you're also a fan of fishing, I read somewhere.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite books is Old Man in the Sea, where there's an old man sort of battling a big fish and basically closing out the last chapter of his life in this battle. So I think another aspect of life with this boulder, it feels like the boulder gets bigger and bigger as we get closer to death. And, you find yourself married to a particular struggle in life that eventually just kind of overtakes the entirety of meaning of your existence. Do you think, I know what it is for me, do you have something like that? The broader vision that unites your work with Cardano and everything you've done in life, the big fish that you're going to end up in the dark of night struggling with at the end, the last chapter of your life, like the big problem you're taking on?
Well, in mathematics, it was the Goldbach conjecture. I'd like to prove that. That's probably not.
That's a really big fish. So do you still have a love for mathematics?
Oh God, yeah, of course I do. You never lose that. You never lose it. You lose the ability to do deep work, and you don't have the creativity and the raw inspiration. This is why I've gotten into automated theorem proving, because what I lack in, because I'm getting older, I can now have computers understand it and use AI to just solve this stuff. It's like the cheat codes for math, you know. So fuck those guys. We'll still do that. But mathematics still has those last passions, and there's all kinds of cool things that I'd like to see done. Like quota complexes allow you to unify topology and number theory in really novel ways, and there are all kinds of cool things. But who cares? It's everybody has those white whales. Another thing I'd love to do is bring back the woolly mammoth. That's George Church's hidden pleasure. In 5 to 10 years, it's actually going to happen. And I have this beautiful ranch in Wyoming, and I got to find a way to convince George to let me raise his clone mammothants on my ranch.
Among the bison.
Among the bison. They'd probably get along really well. And then I have to learn all these cool things about woolly mammoths. Like, do you shave them in the summertime and let them get shaggy during the winter? Or do you just let that coat go and then it falls? Who knows? It's an undiscovered country.
I just had the image of Charles Hoskinson alone on a bison farm trying to raise a woolly mammoth, and
just start wearing a white suit and say, "Welcome to Hoskinson Ranch." I'll have a cane with amber on it.
Yeah. With a chalkboard that you keep scrambling on, like the Beautiful Mind, the movie, and you'll have voices talking.
Oh, the schizophrenia has already come. You guys are all figments of my imagination anyway. Now, one of my goals, though, I love catfish, and they live a long time. They get really damn big if you see those guys. Yeah. I'd love to catch one now and be in my 60s and catch the same fish twice and recognize it. Maybe I'll lift a scar or something. That'd be really cool. Going back to the fish thing,
Yeah.
Because both the fish has gone through a lot, I've gone through a lot, and we can just be like old
reminisce.
Friends. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And then
I'll die of a heart attack, and my mammoths will eat me.
That's something to look forward to. Charles, this was one of the most amazing conversations I've ever had. It's truly an honor that you would spend your valuable time with me. And I'm glad you exist in the cryptocurrency and the technology space. And I can see your love for mathematics and your love for life just radiate through everything you do. So thank you for being you. And thank you for talking to me today.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Lex.